It's been a few years since I started using Redmi 14C and I've got a lot to say about this phone, both the good and the bad. When it first came out, it looked like one of the best budget deals out there. A big display, a large battery life and a decent camera setup for the price. But after using it for a year and recently updating it to Android 15, things aren't quite as smooth anymore. So let's break it down. The Redmi 14C still looks nice for a budget phone. It's got that clean modern design Xiaomi does very well, slightly textured plastic back, camera bump that looks more expensive than it is, and a side mounted fingerprint scanner that works reliably most of the time. And it's not a premium phone, but it doesn't feel like a toy either. You can drop it in a bag, take it everywhere and it will survive just fine. The phone feels light in the hand. Not that light if I'm actually saying the truth, which I actually prefer over heavier builds, but after a year of daily use, the back picks lots of scratches. You rather buy a case than leave it to get lots of scratches, but it exceeds my expectation. You got a big 6.88-inch display with HD Plus resolution. It's not the sharpest screen for scrolling through social media, watching YouTube videos and reading. It's totally fine. The 120Hz refresh rate makes everything look smoother, especially compared to older 90Hz or 60Hz phone in the same price range. But remember, the 120Hz doesn't work everywhere in the phone. It mostly works in the settings or some games. Brightness outdoors could be better, but it's not unusable indoors. It looks great basically indoors. It's a nice screen for the money, even if it's not the best screen. Now let's talk about the performance. Under the hood, the Redmi 14C runs on MediaTek Helio G81 Ultra paired with either 4GB, 6GB or 8GB RAM for basic stuff like messaging, web browsing, streaming and social media and even occasional games. It's okay for for app opening at a reasonable speed, and switching between few apps doesn't cause major lags. But over time, especially after few big software updates, the phone has slowed down a little bit. More tasks and feels heavier, and loading bigger apps or even games takes much longer. It is not unusable, just not as snappy as the Android 14 version of it. If you are someone who plays a lot of games or keeps many apps open at once, you will feel the limit of this processor. For light daily use, it's still good, though it's still trying to hold up. The 15-megapixel main camera does its job very well. In good daylight, it captures detailed photos with nice colors for a phone in this price range. It's very good. Indoors or at night, though it starts to struggle, photos get grainy and lose sharpness. Video tops out at 1080p, which is very nice, and it's fine for casual clips, but not anything you would rely on for serious video making. The selfie camera is good enough for video calls or quick selfie, but tends to overexpose in bright light. If you just want something simple for social media or every snapshot, it's fine. If you care a lot about photography, you would like to get another bigger version of this phone or better one. Now this is where the things get interested, and not in a good way. The Redmi 14C came with a 5160 mAh battery, which sounds great on paper. When new, I could easily get through a full day with around 7 to 8 hours or more screen time. But after updating to Android 15 with HyperOS 2, the battery life took a serious hit. It drains faster than ever. Even when I'm not using it much, the battery percentage drops quicker than it should. I used to charge it once a day. Now I find myself topping it up in the afternoon. It's frustrating because the battery capacity is still large, but the update clearly makes the power optimization up. Some background apps seems to stay active even longer, and the phone heats up a little during charging or heavy use. So if you haven't updated to Android 15 yet, I would honestly advise for you not to do that. It brings some new features and visual changes, but the trade-off in performance and battery life isn't worth the struggle. Charging is another thing that hasn't improved. It supports 18-watt fast charging, but Xiaomi only gives you 10 watts inside the box. Thank God it gives a charger inside the box, unlike some other phones like Samsung and iPhone. That means a full charge still takes around 2 hours or more. With the 18-watt charger, it's faster, but it's still not impressive. At least the USB port is reliable, and battery health itself still seems fine. It's mostly the software that drains the battery faster. And let's talk about the software experience. Originally, the Redmi 14C came with MIUI 14 based on Android 14. It's clean, light and stable for the most part. After switching to HyperOS 2, which is Android 15, the interface looks more polished, smoother icons, better transition and a few usable privacy options. But it's clearly heavier on the system resources. You can feel the extra load. The phone sometimes hesitates when unlocking or switching apps. Notification occasionally lag behind, and the animation feels slower than before. HyperOS brings new customization options, but I would trade half of them for a better performance and a longer battery life. On the plus side, all the basic works well: dual SIM, 4G, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, everything is stable. Calls are clear, the speaker is loud enough for calls and casual music. The headphone jack is still there, which I appreciate. The single speaker at the bottom is okay for watching short clips, but at the full volume it still sounds a little bit harsh. So let's talk about storage and performance over time. You got around 128GB inbuilt storage, which is a general at this price. It is not the fastest type. It uses eMMC storage, not UFC, but it's plenty for apps, photos and videos. After a year, though storage speed and background app management have slowed down slightly, it's still manageable if you keep the phone clean and avoid too many background apps. After 1 year, I would say the Redmi 14C has held up fairly well for what it is: a budget phone, a budget device. The hardware feels solid, the display is still good, and the core experience works. But the Android 15 upgrade really hot seat. Battery life, performance, and system stability all dropped after the upgrade. If you use it mainly for calls, message, and light social media use, you'll be fine. If you're expecting some smoothness or endurance, it's hard in the beginning. You are probably going to be disappointed. So tips if you still own one of these phones: if you are stuck with the poor battery life, here is a few things that actually helps. Do a clean factory reset after update. It clears leftover files and bugs. Turn off your background app. Refresh for apps you rarely use. Use battery saver mode or restrict high drainer apps. Avoid extreme brightness and 120Hz mode if you want to stretch your battery life. If nothing helps, keep an eye out for a smaller patches update. Xiaomi sometimes pushes this particular fixes later in few months or in few weeks to come. My final thought: if you bought the Redmi 14C a year ago, you probably got your money's worth. It's still a decent phone for calls, chat, and light use. But if you have updated to Android 15 and now wonder why your phone battery dies so fast, it's not just you. The update changes how the phone handles power, and it clearly doesn't help a lot. At this point, it's a good reminder that sometimes a budget phone not updating